I suggested we keep our connection purely friendly. He didn't reply, didn't challenge my words, just severed contact before I could even step through my front door. It's almost cinematic, isn't it? 1 second you're sharing a heartfelt, open conversation, and the next you're completely removed from someone's life. If you've ever spoken words you thought were kind only to watch them hit like a door slammed shut, this story is for you. If you've felt that sharp pain, share your experience below. It started with good intentions, as these things often do. We weren't a couple, but we were far beyond mere acquaintances. We lingered in that ambiguous space, late night chats that stretched into the early hours, random texts sent just because, playlists crafted with care for each other, inside jokes that belonged only to us, and weekends that flowed effortlessly from a casual "you free" to staying over without needing to define what we were. It felt natural, almost weightless, like a song I hadn't yet memorized the lyrics to. Perhaps that's where the trouble began, because I was still stitching myself back together after a painful breakup. My heart was barely patched up when he came into my life, not with grand gestures or bold declarations, but with a quiet, consistent presence. He was there, day in and day out. And for a while, that seemed like enough. Then came the moment you're never quite ready for, when someone starts to care deeply and you're still rebuilding your own foundation. He never explicitly said how he felt, but I could see it in the way he looked at me when I babbled about something unimportant, and how he remembered tiny details I'd mentioned offhand, in the way he made me feel safe being my imperfect self. It scared me. I knew he was ready for something deeper, something I wasn't sure I could give. So, in a rush of fear, I said the oldest line in the book, "I think we should just be friends." It wasn't planned or meant to hurt, it just tumbled out. We were in his car, parked outside my apartment. He'd just given me a snack I'd casually mentioned craving a few days before, his thoughtfulness catching me by surprise. I looked at him, so warm, so unaware of the emotional weight I was about to place between us. I tried to say it softly, as if gentleness could cushion the blow. He didn't get angry, didn't cry, didn't beg. He just nodded slowly, stayed quiet, and let me get out of the car. I stood by my door, the night air biting at my skin, my hands shaking as I fumbled with my keys, already questioning my words. I wanted to turn back, to say, "Hold on, I'm just scared, not done with this." But I didn't. I walked inside, sat on my sofa, and checked my phone. Instagram, blocked. WhatsApp, no longer connected. Messages, failed to send. Twitter, unfollowed. It was as if I'd never existed in his world. The shock hit first cold and piercing, followed by a surge of panic, then a deep ache in my chest. Like guilt and loss had knotted together and settled there. I hadn't expected it to end so suddenly. I thought we'd drift apart gradually, maybe stay in touch, linger in that hazy, comforting space of not together, but still linked. But he didn't leave room for that. He erased me completely, like I was a chapter he tore out and refused to revisit. That hurt more than I could have anticipated. For days, I tried to convince myself I'd done the right thing. You deserve someone who's sure. You can't force what isn't ready. You're not whole yet. But the more I repeated those phrases, the hollower they felt. The truth was, I wasn't uncertain about him. I was uncertain about myself. He was dependable, warm, authentic, and I didn't know how to accept that. I was so used to love that demanded I change, fix, or prove myself. But he didn't ask for any of that. He just wanted me as I was, and I couldn't handle that kind of acceptance. So I pushed him away, hiding behind the word friends. Silence can scream louder than any argument. Being erased felt more deafening than any heated exchange. He didn't lash out, didn't send a lengthy text, didn't even ask what I meant. He just disappeared. And for the first time in a long while, I realized what it meant to miss a moment you can't take back. I won't pretend I haven't drafted messages to him at least a dozen, starting with "hey" and ending in the delete button. What do you say to someone who took your words as a final stop instead of a pause? I'm sorry I was scared. I'm sorry I used friends as a shield for my feelings. I'm sorry I didn't trust that someone could care for me without breaking me. I never sent them. Maybe he deserves someone braver, someone who wouldn't burn a connection only to realize they wanted to hold onto it. The truth is I miss him. Not some idealized version of him, but him the way he made the world feel a little less overwhelming. The way he listened like my words carried weight. The way he saw me as complete even when I felt like a work in progress. I don't know if he'll ever read this or if he ever thinks of me. But if he does, I hope he knows I didn't say just friends because I didn't care. I said it because I cared too much and didn't know how to hold the feeling without fear. If you've ever pushed someone away before you could share your heart, if you've hidden behind safe words to dodge the chaos of real emotions, if you've been cut off and felt like you deserved to share your story, I see you. We all stumble through love sometimes. What matters is what we learn from the silence that follows.